Hello, this is Abebe from University of Gondar Faculty of Informatics, and this is Fundamentals of Programming video tutorial. Today we are going to say a new topic, but before we directly go to the today's session, let's have a look at what has been covered in our previous class. So previously we have seen lots of important topics in this course, and then as we said before, the execution of C++ program is sequential, meaning when we add one statement on the first line, that statement will be executed first, and then when we add the second statement, that statement will be executed second, and so on and so forth, like this. So meaning the execution of C++ statement is sequential. The first statement will be executed first, the second statement will be executed second, and then the last statement will be executed at last, meaning the execution of C++ program is sequential. For example, if we have such kind of scenario, we can do with the help of this program. Let me show you one sample program. So this is a program that will that will accept two numbers from the user and then display the sum. If you see the order of the execution, the first statement, if you see the order of the execution, this is the first statement, so this will have a guarantee to be executed first, and then this is the second statement, second, third, fourth, like this. So they will be executed based on their occurrence, meaning the execution of C++ program is sequential. But sometimes there is a need to handle condition. Sometimes there is a need to have a technique that will let the compiler to execute or to jump a certain statement. For example, I need to jump from 2 to, for example, 7. There is sometimes a need to jump from statement 3 to statement 6. So there is a need to have another important topic that will let us to jump from one statement into the other, meaning we need to have a condition. So based on that condition, the compiler will jump the execution. Okay, so to see this example, let's have a look at the second flow chart. As you see here, so this is a sequential flow chart, whereas this is another different flow chart. So here we do have a condition. So based on this condition, if this condition results true, we can tell the compiler to go to this way. If not, it will go to the other way. So this is what we call it the control statement. So with the help of control statement or with the help of conditional statement, we can tell the compiler to go in a different direction, to jump one or more statement and then go to the other part of the program. So here we do have sequential order of execution, but this is not sequential order of execution. The execution will depending on this condition. So if we do have such kind of condition, we can use either if else conditional statement or switch case conditional statement. We have seen the programming difference between if else and switch case. So we use if else if we do have the conditional operator one or more, and then if we use all the comparison operators, if else recommended, whereas the switch case is recommended for specific case if we do have one conditional variable, and then if the operator is equal sign, in that case switch case is recommended. As we discussed in our previous tutorial, a program which is written with switch case can be rewritten with if else, but the reverse is not always true, because switch case will handle only a specific condition, whereas the if else will handle lots of conditions. So let's have a look at this condition then. So if we have a condition, for example, this is the second example, that will accept a number and then check whether that number is even or odd. So the order of execution will depending on this condition. So if this condition results true, this statement will be executed, otherwise this statement will be executed. So there is no, in this program, there is no sequential order of execution. The order of execution will depending on this condition. So this is what we call it conditional statement. So sometimes there is a need to check some condition to tell the compiler which statement to be executed. So that's what we call it conditional statement. And then today we are going to see another important topic, what we call it the iteration. So as you see here, this is a flowchart. So we do have the initial action, and then we do have the loop condition, and then if the loop condition is true, it will let the compiler to go to the statement to execute the statement, and then it will update the loop condition, go to the second, the loop condition check to check the updated value, and then this way we can repeat the same code again and again. Here, let me show you one example. So this is what we call it the loop flowchart. So this is a flowchart that will tell the compiler to display the word welcome 10 times on the screen. So we will discuss a lot about this flowchart, but before that, let's see how we just display the word welcome 2 or 3 times on the screen with a normal, without using the loop statement, and then we can have a look at how much loop is important to repeat the same statement again and again. So for example, if we are asked to do, so this is a basic C++ structure. So if we are asked to display the word welcome maybe 2 times, we can do it like this. Welcome. Enter. So this will display 1 welcome, and then if we repeat this code, it will display 2 welcome. Okay. So let's run and then see what will be the output. Hopefully we will get 2 welcome on the screen. And then if we are asked to modify this program so that this program should display maybe 5 welcome, we have to repeat this code 5 times. Okay, compile and run, we'll get this one, 5 welcome on the screen. And then if we are asked to modify this program so that it will display 10 welcome on the screen, this is the code. Okay, compile and run, have a look. So this is a program that will display the word welcome 10 times on the screen. But everything is okay. This program is syntactically, it's fine. There is no logical and syntax error, but it's not readable for the other users. We are just repeating the same code again and again. In any programming language, code redundancy is not recommended because it will increase the number of code in your program. One. The other reason is it will be difficult for the other users to understand your program. So this is a very simple program that will display the word welcome, but we are just, as you see here, we are just repeating the same code again and again. So it's not recommended to repeat the same code again and again in any programming language. So there is a need to have another important topic that will tell the compiler to repeat the same code again and again. So there has to be another technique, another way to tell the compiler to repeat the same code again and again. That's what we call it the loop statement. And then as you see on this flow chart, see here we have the conditional statement, the conditional variable. So one thing that you need to understand is we need to display the word welcome 10 times. So we need to have a counter. We need to have a counter to count 1 up to 10. To count 1 up to 10. So that counter will start at 1 and then end at 10. And then the counter will start from 1 up to 10, and in every loop it should increment by 1. So on the first loop it was 1, and then it will increment by 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So we have to do these things. So looping means doing the same thing again and again, means there has to be a counter that will tell the compiler to repeat that specific code many times. So basically in C++ there are 3 types of loop statement. There are just 3 types of loop statement. The first one is what we call it the for loop. The second one is the while loop, and then the third one is the do while loop. Okay. So in today's tutorial, we are going to see specifically about the for loop, and then on the next consecutive tutorial, we will have a look at what is the while loop and the do while loop, and then what exactly is the difference between these three loop statements. So we use for loop. The first important point is we use for loop if we know in advance how many times the loop should be executed. If we are told to do this one operation multiple times, and if we know how many times that statement will be executed, in that case for loop is recommended. So the very important point is for loop is recommended if we know in advance how many times the loop should be executed. For example, in this example, we know that we need to execute the word welcome 10 times. So we know the number of loops. The number of loops is 10. So in that case, we use a for loop. So the structure of for loop is for initialization statement, the control statement, and then the update statement, and then in here the statement that will be executed if the control result is true. So in this case, well, look, in this case, initialization means this one, control means this one, the update means the increment, and then the statement that will be executed if the control is true means the word welcome. Okay, so this is how we just convert the flowchart into a for loop. Okay, so to see the program, we can do it like this. Okay, for the initialization is int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to 10, I plus plus, and then the statement that will be executed based on this for loop is to display the word welcome. Okay, so this is how we just display the word welcome 10 times on the screen with the help of for loop. So let's have a look at how we can modify the code, and then we can further discuss about how the for loop works. So in here, we are just told to display the word welcome 10 times. So the loop statement, the control variable, will start from 1 up to 10, and then in each loop I will be incremented by 1. Okay, and then here we do have the statement like this. So if we just compile and run this program, we will get 10 welcome on the screen without repeating the same code, because the for loop will tell the compiler to repeat the same code. So how this loop works, let me show you. So this is, consider this as step 0, the initialization as step 0, the control is step 1, the statement that will be executed is step 2, and then the update is step 3. I need you to classify the for loop into 4 parts. The initialization is step 0, the control I less than 10 is step 1, the statement that will be executed, cout welcome, will be step 2, and then the increment, the update variable, will be step 3. So one very important that you need to understand here is that step 0 will be executed only once. This is very much important point. Step 0 will be executed only once, and then step 1, 2, and 3 will be executed if the control result is true. So these are the very important point. Step 0 will be executed only once, whereas the step 1 to 3 will be executed many times depending on this condition. If this condition results true, the statement will be executed like this. Let's see. So on step 0, I will be 1. Step 0, I equals 1, yes. I less than 10, which means 1 less than or equals to 10. True. Display, the second statement is 2. Display welcome. So we will get one welcome on the screen. And then next step 2, it will go to step 3. I was 1 plus 1, 2. And then it will go to step 1. It was 1 plus 1, 2. 2 less than 10, true. Go to the second one. We'll get the second welcome. Okay. And then it will go to step 3. I was 2 plus 1, 3. And then go to step 1. 3 less than 10, true. We'll get this, the third 3 like this. And then finally, I will be 10. So it will go to step 3. I plus plus, it will be 11. 11 less than 10, false. So we'll get only 10 will come on the screen. So this is very much important. You need to know about how the loop works. This statement will be executed only once, whereas step 1, 2, 3 will be executed many times depending on this condition. If this condition results true, it will go to step 1, 2, 3, step 1, 3 like this. This is what we call it the loop. Okay, this is what we call it the loop. Okay, so let's have a look at the flowchart one more times. Okay, in this flowchart we are just telling the compiler to repeat the same code again and again. Okay, so here if we run this program, we'll get the word welcome 10 times. We did not repeat any of the codes. Instead, we are just telling the compiler to start from 1 up to 10, and then in each loop to display the word welcome on the screen. So this is what we call it, the loop statement or the for loop. So let's modify this program so that we can display lots of the other important things. For example, if you want to display number 1 up to 10, and instead of welcome, you can make it I. So in each loop, it will display the value of I. For example, I is 1, step 0, 1 less than 10, true, display I, 1. And then go to step 3, increment the value of I by 1, 2. Go to step 1, 2 less than 10, true, display the value of I, 2. Go to step 3, I equals to I plus plus, it will be 3. 3 less than 10, true, display 3. So this way, our program will display number 1 up to 10. So the previous program display the word welcome, whereas this program will display number 1 up to 10. Okay, so let's further modify this program to display the other things. For example, if we are asked to display even number between 1 up to 10, if we are asked to display even number between 1 up to 10, so we have to modify the initial step. So the first even number between 1 up to 10 is 2. The second one is 4, 6, 8. So in each loop, the value of I should be incremented by 2. So it was 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8 like that. So in each loop, the initial statement should be I should start from 2, and then in each loop, we have to increment the value of I by 2. So we'll get the even number. So I plus equals to 2. I plus equals to I plus plus means increment the value of I by 1. I plus equals to 2 means increment the value of I by 2. So now when we run this program, we'll get even number between 1 up to 10. So 2, 6, 4, 8 and 10 will be the answer. So just to display even number, you need to know what is a first even number in between the range, and then what will be the second even number. So the first even number is 2. The second even number will be increment the value of I by 2. So that way we can display the even number between 1 up to 2. And then if you are asked to display even number between 1 up to 20, all you have to do is you have to change only the control. Up to which range do you want to display the even numbers? If you are asked to modify to display even number between 1 up to 20, all you have to do is change only the control. So let's check. So we'll get the first 20, the first even number between 1 up to 20 like this. And then what if you are asked to modify this program to display odd number between 1 up to 10? So the first odd number between 1 up to 10 is 1. So the second one is 3. So on the first odd number we have to increment by 2. So this way we will get odd number between 1 up to 10. You see, 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So once you understand how the for loop works, you can modify the code to display, to do lots of things. For example, if you are asked to display number 1 up to 10 in reverse order, number 1 up to 10 in reverse order means if you are asked to display 10, 9, 8 up to 1, what we need to do is the initialization. The loop should start from 10. The loop should start from 10 up to 1. So if the loop starts from 10 to go to 1, in each loop we have to decrement the value of I by 1. So this way we can display number 1 up to 10 in reverse order. So to simply modify this code, we have to make the initialization 10. We have to decrement the value of I by 1 in each loop, and then we have to change the control. The control should go to 1 until the value of I is 1. We will start with the value of I 10. We have to go to until the value of I equals to 1 by decrementing the value of I by 1. So we have to change the control I greater than or equals to 1. So the loop will continue as far as the value of I is greater than or equals to 1. So let's compile and then run. Hopefully we'll get the output, the expected output, 10, 9, 8, like this. So this is how we just display the number in reverse order. So we can do lots of things with the for loop. So one very much important point that you need to know whenever you are just dealing with the for loop is we use for loop. This is very much important. We use for loop if we know in advance how many times the loop, if we know in advance, if we know in advance how many times the loop should be executed. So if we know in advance how many times the loop should be executed, for loop is recommended, because in here we just told to display the number 10 up to 1. So the number of loop is 10. So this is very much important point. So let's see one more example. Let's see one more example to display the sum of number 1 up to 5. So if we are asked to display the sum of the number 1 up to 5, we can do it like this. For first thing is we are asked to display the sum, so we need to have a sum variable to store the value. So we need to have a for loop for I equals to 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. So in each loop we need to add the value of I to sum. Okay. See, finally we can display the value of sum like this. So this is a program that will display the sum of number 1 up to 5. So on the first loop I is 1 less than 5, 2, go to the statement, it will add the value of I, 1 to the variable sum. Go to the third statement, I will be incremented by 1, statement 1, step 1, 2 less than 10, true, add 2 to the variable sum. Go to step 3, increment the value of I 1 by 1, 3 less than 5, true, add the value of I to the variable sum. This way, when it goes to 6 less than 5, stop the execution. So hopefully we'll get sum equals to 15 on the screen. So we're just telling the compiler to repeat the loop and then to add the value of I to the variable sum. So finally, what we get on the screen is we'll get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So that is what we call the 50, where 1, 2, 3 is the value of I. So in the first loop I is 1, on the second loop I is 2, third loop like this, and in the fifth loop I was, and then finally on the sixth loop I will be 6. At that time 6 less than or equals to 5 result is false. At that time we are just telling the compiler to stop the loop because the control failed to become true. So this control result is false, so it will tell the compiler to stop the execution and then display the sum of 1 up to 5. So we'll get finally 15 on the screen. So this is how the for loop works, and then on our on the next tutorial we'll have a look at the other loop statements, what we call it the while loop and then the do while loop, and then what exactly is the difference between those loop statements, in what scenario for loops recommended, in what scenario the do and the do while loop is recommended. We will see on the next tutorial. Thank you very much. Bye.